Sorry?
Who's in charge of the thing? When is the auction?
Um, I think it's going to be after the movie and after the, like last minute, I guess it'd be over. 4 o'clock.
Because I wanted to make a bid, but I don't know if they're going to be here when I come back.
Well, we have a room in the church here.
There's nothing to evict because your lease is over. How does that know the lease? So if you have somewhere to go, you're leaving.
This guy had a question about the auction. Are you co-chair in the auction?
Yeah.
There's nothing to evict. You paid your rent. And if you have a place to go, like maybe they don't have a spot for your storage.
Thanks. Okay.
You're going to introduce Marco when the
Barb is looking to the bottom of her son's house. No, her son's house. I can talk about who Barb is. His
See, you told me I had to be right up on the mic. I had to be up on the mic. My voice sounds great at this thing. How y'all doing? Can we give ourselves some claps? So, my name is Joseph Spicer. I am here with a bunch of good people that I've met over, what has it been, about a month and a half, right? been about a month and a half. We've been working together, organizing this thing. So today is Mandela Day. Mandela Day is something that the Institute of Global Education has been sponsoring, put together over, since 2016? So it's been a little over a decade now. So the film, let me tell you what we're gonna do today. We're gonna watch a film, right? We're gonna watch this film. This film is a South African-based film talking about apartheid. But as people that stay in America, we also understand. See, I got the T-Pain going on right now. We cool with it though? We alright? Okay, so look. It's a film that's based on South African apartheid, but the reason why we're going to be watching this film is because it's not like we don't deal with certain things such as redlining and different forms of apartheid in America. Though it's not the same thing, there's racism in this country, there's racism in many other places in the world, and part of this is us going to be seeing it from a different lens and perspective. We got a few panelists that'll be up here. I'll introduce them later. I want them to be a surprise. You know, you see one of them, it's one of them sitting amongst you. That's how cool she is. You don't even know. And, you know, then I'll be up here asking a few questions and stuff like that. Right now, I have my buddy Gerard with me. Give a round of applause for him. And Gerard is going to come up here real quick and basically give you an introduction on what IG is and talk about what it is and everything else like that. So Gerard, man, you can come up here real quick.
Thank you, everyone. Well, this is Mandela Day, and we're sponsored by the Institute for Global Education, which is a nonprofit organization for peace and justice since 1980 in Grand Rapids. And we just so happen to have the first issue of our newsletter from October of 1980 available for donation. And it just so happens, to our surprise, that we just reprinted this for us, and it hasn't been read in a long time. And there's an article about South Africa, the apartheid movement, that is very local because it was, it's about the 10 people that were charged with disturbing the peace at Western Michigan University, Kalamazoo, and is that Kalamazoo? Yes. Oh, okay. And they went through a whole jury trial and they were all acquitted. And the group's name was South African Solidarity Organization. And I just can't help comparing it to what we're doing now with postulating solidarity and disturbing the peace here in Grand Rapids, which is sorely needed. So I'm really thrilled that we got this article, and please pick up a copy, and we'll keep reprinting these. And we're going to keep scanning more and reprinting more of our activities, because we don't have a current equity right now. All we have is social media. It's okay, but printed word, right, is pretty cool. Next, I'd like to introduce Martha Cooper. She's going to talk about our friend Kate Shockey.
Good afternoon. So I wrote a bit for my friend Kate Shockey. I was one of her running buds, kept a good company for a lot of years, and taught me a lot about tie-dye, and she was quite modest. So today we celebrate the life of Nelson Mandela. We also honor the life of Kate Shockey, a longtime member of the Institute for Global Education. Kate revered Nelson Mandela and had organized an earlier celebration of his life with the Institute for Global Education and the Grand Rapids African American Museum. She had lived through the time of the struggle to end apartheid in South Africa and had held hope for peace and justice. Mandela was her hero. Kate was a member of IGE for 20 years, maybe more, and it was her chosen family. She was politically engaged and had a connection to community. She especially loved the arts and was a member of the Weavers Guild and the Grand Rapids Art Museum. Today we have some of her art for silent auction, proceeds to benefit IGE. She also loved to garden and organized installing several raised beds at the IG office on Welby Street. When IG moved to Fountain Street Church, many new people became members, much to her delight. She realized peace and justice is a movement and recognized the need for younger leadership. She knew it was time to pass the torch. She left us in November of 2025, and may her spirit carry on.
Right, I just want to explain the sign-up option real quick. There's sign-up sheets for each piece of art, a suggested donation or best offer. Please we're not expecting to make a lot of money here, but do what you can. And we need to get rid of this art. We can't come back to my house. So we'll find somewhere else for it, somewhere. Okay. Also, Paul Matthews has some books for that he wrote his book about himself, his autobiography, and he's selling those here too. And also, I forgot out of order that Joe's going to read this poem from our equity about the Calvinist lieutenant. Sorry about that.
So this poem starts with, "It took courage to demand debate of the facts of the case in far-off South Africa. I salute your courage and concern. I salute the Calvinist lieutenant. It took concern to study the truth of exploitation and expose its horrors in apartheid South Africa. We salute your concern and courage. We salute the Calvinist lieutenant. It took courage to challenge the college powers to discuss the rights and wrongs of oppressed South Africa. I salute your courage and concern. I salute the Calvinist lieutenant. It took concern to publicize the cruel injustice of racist oppression in racist South Africa. We salute your concern and courage, and we salute the Calvinist lieutenant. It took courage to confront the law and face the prospect of prison for justice in South Africa. We salute the courage and concern, and we salute the Calvinist lieutenant." This poem was written by Dennis Brutus, born of South African parents in Rhodesia, if I'm pronouncing that right. In 1924, he's a teacher, poet, sportsman, secretary, founder of a South Africa Sports Association, and president of SAMROC, which is South African Non-Racial Olympic Committee. He was sentenced on January 9, 1964 on 5 charges, which included contravention of orders issued by the Minister of Justice prohibiting him from attending gatherings in South Africa without valid travel documents. Also a felon to report to the police as required in terms of banning a notice and escaping while in custody. He was imprisoned in Lukwa, or Leokwa. It's crazy. But he was in a weird prison, let's say that. He was in a weird prison from January 10th to March 9th, 1964, and on Robben Island from March 1964 until July 1965. At this point, he was a professor at Northwestern University, and he was a good friend of Sasso, H, and I. So, as you see, we have Paul right here. We have somebody else named Kuweye Jumale. I will give their introductions after the film, so that way I can properly introduce them. And the last things you kind of hear about people is usually what you remember. So I want to save their moment so that way you can know who they are and then listen to them speak. But at this point, we're going to start the film. I'm going to get out of everybody's way, and we're going to, enjoy our time. Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.